Many robust HVAC systems in facilities include multiple equipment hidden from end users. Nonetheless, their roles are equally important as the terminal devices that are usually visible. In this video, we'll create a simple mechanical equipment, a ceiling ducted 4-pipe fan coil unit. So launch Revit and click the New Families button and open the Mechanical Equipment Family category, metric or imperial, depending on your region. Then activate the reference plane command and create 4 reference planes around the intersection of the 2 default ones. Type RP and create 4 new reference planes. You can set their reference to strong. Then activate the align dimension command by typing DI on your keyboard. Draw a horizontal and a vertical dimension string connecting the reference planes. Then activate the equality constraint by clicking EQ. Draw other horizontal and vertical reference plane connecting other horizontal and vertical dimensions connecting the boundaries of the reference planes. So connect these two. Next, go to an elevation view and draw a horizontal reference plane above the reference level. Make it a strong reference and name it equipment top. Go to the reference level, select the horizontal dimension, and then create a parameter for it and call it equipment width. Repeat the same for the vertical dimension and call it equipment depth. Next, open the elevation view, dimension it and name it equipment height. Then go back to the reference level and launch the extrusion command from the create ribbon. Then activate the rectangle tool from the drop panel and highlight the intersection of the top left reference planes and the bottom right reference planes. Then finish the extrusion command. Go to the elevation view and drag the upper handle of the extrusion to highlight the equipment top reference plane. Then click the lock icon to constrain the extrusion end to the equipment height parameter. Now go to the default 3D view, launch the family types dialog and tweak the dimensions to confirm they flex appropriately. So we set the equipment width to 900 millimeters, the depth to 600 millimeters, and the height to 400. Of course, you can use these arrows to rearrange this if you need to. Then we'll click OK. Now you can see that this actually flexes. So we've created the equipment's basic geometry. Next, we'll model some geometries to host its ducts and pipes. So we'll start with the supply duct. For that, open the front elevation view and draw 4 reference planes within the extrusion. So activate reference plane by typing RP and draw 4 reference planes within this existing extrusion. Name the 4 reference planes duct left, duct right, duct top, and duct bottom. Next, activate the align dimension tool and dimension between the inner and the outer reference planes at this corner. Make sure to dimension to the reference planes and not the geometry. Then set their values to 50 millimeters and lock them in place. Next, activate the align dimension tool again and dimension the duct reference planes this time. So DI. Now dimension the duct reference planes. Now create parameters for the two dimensions and name them supply duct width and supply duct height. So this is the width, supply duct width, and supply duct height. Next, we will set the vertical face of the extrusion as the current work plane. So to do that, go to the create ribbon from the datum panel, set work plane, and pick a plane and select the vertical face here. Next, we'll activate the extrusion command, then the rectangle tool. Then we'll highlight the duct top reference planes and the bottom right reference planes. Now, as an extra caution in this case, we will unlock the profile to the reference plane. Then we'll set the extrusion end value to 25 millimeter and finish the extrusion command. So repeat the same process on the back elevation view for the return duct. So go to the back. So we'll assume the supply and return ducts will be the same size. So we'll start by setting the work plane to the vertical face of the extrusion. So we'll go here, set our work plane to this. Then we'll activate the extrusion command and of course the rectangle tool. Then we'll pick the adjacent end of this. Now we can just draw around this. Then we'll use the align tool to make sure to align to the reference planes. Make sure to check this to lock it in place. Then of course confirm the extrusion end is 25 millimeters and finish the extrusion command. So if you go to the 3D view, you see what we've created. We've created the duct placeholders. So at this point, we'll create two new parameters for the return duct height and return duct width. So we'll launch the family type button here and create two new parameters. We'll call it return duct height and return duct width. Then we'll map the return duct height to the duct width. So the supply duct and the return duct will be the same based on our assumption. So supply duct width is equals to return duct width. Then the supply duct height is equals to the return duct height. So you can see that they match. Then after that, we also use the equipment dimensions to control the duct dimensions. So for that, we'll set the supply duct height as equipment height minus 100. And then for the width, we'll set it to equipment width minus 100. So if you look at this now, you see that these values actually control each other. So for example, if we change the equipment width to say 800, you see that this to change. If we change the equipment width, equipment height to say 500, you see that this won't change. So change it back to 900 and 400. So just tweak the sizes to validate the flex appropriately. Next, we will create round extrusions to host the pipes. So to do that, we'll open the left elevation and we'll draw 3 vertical reference planes. So RP for reference plane. Then we'll draw 2 reference planes here and 1 here. Then we'll use the align dimension tool to connect the 4 by the left this way, and use the quality constraint to distribute them equally. Next, we'll set the active work plane to the vertical face of the extrusion, and then we'll activate the extrusion command. Then we'll draw a circle at the intersection of the left vertical reference plane and the bottom horizontal one here. Then we'll select the circle and check center mark visible from the properties browser here, and use the align command to align the reference planes to the center marks. Next, we will dimension the circle using the radial dimension from the annotate ribbon, and then we'll select the dimension and create a parameter called chilled water supply radius. Then we'll confirm that the extrusion end is 25 and finish the extrusion. So we'll use the same process to create 3 more round extrusions at the left side of the equipment geometry. So pick this, copy from here to here for the hot water supply. Then we'll copy the 2 for the chilled and hot water return. Now to quickly map their radius parameters, we'll open each of these, edit extrusion, use the align command to align and lock them in place. Then we'll pick the radius parameter and change this to hot water supply radius. And finish it. This is chilled water return. So edit extrusion, align in place and lock. Then we'll change this parameter to chilled water return radius. And finish that. Then for this as well, we'll edit extrusion, align in place and change this to hot water return. Finally, for the condensate pipe by the right here, first we'll select this and dimension it to constrain it to 100 millimeters. We'll lock this in place. Then we'll select one of these circles, this one here, and then copy it and edit extrusion, Then we'll align and lock in place. And we'll change this to condensate pipe radius. And we'll finish it. Lastly, we will model the geometry for mounting the equipment to the beam or the slab or whatever it was set to. So to do that, we will go back to the reference level and we will create two horizontal reference planes type RP above and below the equipment, and then we will dimension and constrain them to 75 millimeters to this reference plane here. So dimension the reference planes and constrain them to 75 millimeters. Then also we'll draw two vertical reference planes, dimension and constrain them to 37.5 this way. Always make sure to dimension to reference planes and not to geometry. Then after that, we will set the work plane to equipment top. So we'll go to here, set work plane to equipment top. Then we'll launch the extrusion command and activate the rectangle tool. Then we'll highlight the reference planes this way for the mounting geometry and lock everything in place and repeat the same. So in this case, we'll set the extrusion end to 50 for the geometry. Finish this and repeat it for the second one. Create an extrusion rectangle. Make sure end is 50 and then select these four corners and lock everything in place. So at this point, you can open the 3D view to see what we've created so far. So basically, we have all the geometries we need for this equipment, which is the ceiling ducted 4-pipe fan coil system. So just to verify everything, you can launch the family types dialog and tweak the parameters to validate that the equipment behaves as expected. So that's it. We have created the basic geometry for a ceiling ducted 4-pipe fan coil system. In the following videos, we will add engineering information to the families.